Hi everybody, J. Alex Ray here, and I am going to be doing the gender tag today. Um, I had previously done the gender tag, but I decided to redo it because things had changed, so I deleted it off of my YouTube. Um, so, first things first, I'm going to read the questions off, and then I'm going to give you my answers. So, let's see. First question. How do you self-identify your gender, and what does that definition mean to you? Um, I identify as agender and non-binary, and it basically means to me that I don't feel like I exhibit any gender specifically. Agender literally means without gender, and that's just how I feel I am. Next question. What pronouns honor you? My pronouns are they, them, theirs, and yeah, very simple question. Anyway, third question. Describe what style of clothing you most often wear. I usually just wear t-shirts and pants, no jeans, no dresses, no skirts or anything like that. I hate them. As for formal wear, I wear suits, suits with ties, bow ties or regular ties. I'm okay with either. Um, I also really love hats and sometimes bandanas. Um, and the only time I will ever wear traditionally feminine clothing, um, is if I'm cosplaying a female character from, an anime or TV show or, anything. Let's see. Next question. Talk about your choices with body hair. How do you style your hair? Do you have facial hair? And what do you choose to shave or choose not to shave? For my hair, um, I like to keep it as short as possible. And I just got my hair cut into a sort of faux hawk kind of thing. So I really like this hairstyle and I plan to keep it this way for a while. Um, as for other body hair, I don't really shave much. The only things I shave are the little tops of my toes and my face. Uh, and my armpits and legs are never shaved. Um, I'm not gonna bring my leg up here for you to see, but my legs are not shaved. I haven't shaved in quite a long time. I think if the last time I actually shaved my legs was probably like 3 or 4 years ago. Anyway, next question. Talk about cosmetics. Do you choose to wear makeup? Do you paint your nails? What types of soaps and perfumes do you use, if any? I hate makeup. I absolutely hate it. I think it's tedious and expensive and a waste of time. Um, I very rarely paint my nails. Sometimes I'll paint on black, but that's about it. For soaps, I mostly just use like male shampoos and body wash. Like the way they smell. uh, and as for perfume or cologne, I currently don't really have any. Because I used to get the Deadpool cologne from Hot Topic, but I can't find it anymore. So I am currently looking for a new kind of cologne. I might just go to Walmart because it'd probably be cheaper, but I hate Axe, so I'm not going to use that. Might try Old Spice or something like that, maybe. Um, and as for deodorant, I use just regular Speed Stick, which I have under here somewhere. No, that's not it. Regular Speed Stick. It smells great. Um, yeah. Anyway, Next thing, sixth question. Have you ever experienced being misgendered? If so, how often? Seeing as non-binary people aren't very well known, I am almost always misgendered, in public. So, the only time I'm ever really not misgendered is when I'm with my friends, but even then, sometimes I'm still misgendered. Um, and I try not to let it bother me too much, but sometimes it really does. But it's unfortunate that not very many people really know about non-binary genders. Um, it's just that, as for in public, I prefer not to be called a girl. Um, and I react much better if I'm assumed male, which rarely happens anyway. Um, I just wish that no one would assume my gender at all. I wish they would just leave it be and let me be me and not assume anything. Uh, anyway, next question. Do you experience dysphoria and how does that affect you? I hate my chest. I want it to go away. Even if just a little bit smaller, and maybe I could bind it better because I don't like how my binder binds me because I don't feel like it binds enough. Um, I want to be flat, completely flat, but no one seems to understand this, and I feel like everyone is just saying that it looks okay, but it's not. And I also can't always wear a binder because I often have trouble breathing. But I think I'm getting used to it, and it's starting to get better, but, I pretty much hate my chest. I want them gone. And, also when I'm misgendered, but again, I try my best to ignore that because I'm pretty much sadly used to it. Because again, people don't really know much about non-binary genders. A lot of people, even within the trans community, don't believe that it exists when it really does, and it's a big problem. And I hate that because people always want to argue, and I hate that. I just want to be left alone and I want people to let me be me. But that just doesn't always happen. People will argue, and I try my best to get away from those people, but I can't always do that. Now, next question. Talk about children. Are you interested in having children? Would you want to carry a child if it were an option to you? Do you want to be the primary caretaker for any children you may have? I hate children. I tolerate them at best, and a lot of times I don't tolerate them. I try my best, but sometimes I just can't because they are annoying, they're sticky, they're rude. I mean, there are good children from time to time, and those children, I like those children. The quiet children, the friendly children, cute children, but I hate crying babies. And when I say crying babies, I mean the kids that are acting like babies, and sometimes babies, but little babies can't always help it because they have to um, get across what they need. So I understand that a bit more than older children. It annoys me. As for if I want kids, I'm sure that's obvious that I don't. And I honestly think the idea of childbirth is disgusting, and I don't understand why people think that it's a beautiful experience. It is literally a bloody, painful mess. But I won't fault you if you want children, and I don't fault you if you have children. I don't hate your children, if you have any. and I'll be nice, and sometimes, usually the people that I know that have children are pretty good mothers or fathers, so I don't mind. Um, and hey, there are some kids that I've found that are actually not that bad. But I don't want my own. I don't think I could handle it. And I don't want to carry them. Just, I will tolerate them, and if your kid's good, I won't hate them. Anyway, next question. Talk about money. Is it important to you to provide for a family financially if you choose to have one? Is it important to you that you earn more than any partner you may have? Do you prefer to pay for things like dates? Are you uncomfortable when others pay for you or offer to pay for you? Um, as for family and partners, I'd rather we both provide equally. On all honesty, um, it I just want us both to have jobs. I want us both to pay for things, etc., etc. I don't care if I earn more or less. It doesn't bother me. I earn what I can, and they earn what they can. And as for paying for things like dates, I like to do it, and I will, unless the other person is insisting. And if they insist, I will allow them to pay. I don't mind, because sometimes I gotta save money. But I am more than happy to pay for dates or anything like that. And let's see, last question. Is there anything else you want to share about your experience with gender? As for this, all I can think of really is just that I always kind of grew up wondering about myself, but I never really quite knew what. Because growing up, I always felt insulted when people would like say that I was too much of a tomboy, blah blah blah, and I would feel insulted also if they called me a girly girl. It always confused me. It's just because I was like, well, I'm supposed to be a girl as a kid, questioning, wondering what was going on, but I don't like being called a boy, so what's going on? But I never really thought much more after that. I just kind of tried to be myself as best I could, until later on when I grew up and got into higher grades. I would feel uncomfortable because people would pick on me, including my sister and my brother, unfortunately. But they picked on me much more when I was a kid. I remember there was one time when we were all in the store with my mom, and my sister and my brother would just keep egging me on, saying, ah, birth name is such a boy, she's a boy, blah, 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 blah. And they would go screaming down the aisles saying that I was a boy, and I felt so awkward, and I didn't want to be in there at the time. I just wanted to run away. But at the same time, I had my dad, my stepdad, technically. He'd always say things like, be the girl, you gotta know how to cook, you gotta know how to clean, blah, 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 blah. You gotta do all this shit for me, while he was sitting on the couch doing nothing in his underwear. And every time he did that, I also felt really uncomfortable because I didn't know how to feel. I didn't know what to do. And as soon as I got into college, I never really felt very comfortable being, like, really, really feminine. Um, and, when I finally got into college, I had the most terrible self-esteem ever. So, I got convinced by someone who I had an on-campus job with to, to join a sorority. Yeah. And being as I was very, very uncomfortable, and I just, I thought that maybe if I was if I pretended to be feminine, if I joined a sorority and acted like a stereotypical girl, I'd find more friends that way, which I found out to be untrue, very untrue, because I really didn't keep any of the friends that I had made in the sorority. I mean, even like now, there were a few people in the sorority that I had kept as friends, but as I got, like, I just kind of lost them as friends. Not that they weren't accepting, because they were to an extent, some of them more than others. I just ended up stopped being friends with them because of personal reasons, because they were not being very nice to me. And I don't know if that was necessarily because of how I identified, or well, how I identify now, um, how I am no matter what, because I've always been this way. I just didn't know right away. It actually wasn't until after I had dealt with a year of being in a sorority that I found out I can't I can't pretend to be feminine. I can't be what I'm not. And that was when I kind of did more research. I had heard about non-binary genders when I was like in middle school, I think. It was sometime when I was still in school, but I was older. But I kind of brushed it aside because I was just, at that point, I was too uncomfortable. I couldn't think of anything, so I just hid and didn't say anything. And then as soon as I finished the first year being in a sorority, I was just like, okay, no, this isn't me. This isn't comfortable. I hated myself. I didn't want to be in a sorority anymore, and it just so happened that that particular sorority I had joined, they had to take it off campus because they were low on funds. Lucky me, though, huh? Um, so after that, I went through the rest of college, at least until I couldn't afford it anymore, and found out I gotta act like myself, and I gotta not be just pretending that I'm something I'm not. And that was when I had come across agender specifically, and realized that that is probably what I was. And I finally started becoming more comfortable with myself. Um, so yeah, it was years of hell that finally just convinced me to be myself. And for a very long time, I kept my hair long because my mom was always like, for some reason, I think she might have had a suspicion that I was either gay, or I thought that well, yeah, she just, she didn't want me to be different, but she knew I was. So she was always like, keep your hair long. Don't watch that. Don't go there. Don't do this. Don't do that. But she couldn't completely force me to not be who I was. And I never really told her or anyone in my family of what I was. I was just lucky that I got to move away so I can be myself and I don't have to hide. So, yeah. I cut my hair. I got extremely more comfortable with myself after I had cut my hair, because it was so long, and I thought that I couldn't ever cut my hair this short. I never would have expected, like 10 years ago, I never would have expected my hair to be this short. I always thought it was going to be just like really long. I thought I was going to grow it out past my knees and keep it that way. But nope. I got more comfortable with myself, and now I'm just like, I'm awesome. I feel awesome like this. I can wear suits and I look freaking awesome, and it just, once you finally just start to accept yourself, you can be who you are and be comfortable with yourself, and that's the most important thing. So I'm going to end it here before I start ranting and ranting and ranting and ranting and ranting. And this thing goes on forever because it's already, at least according to this timer, it's like been almost 20 minutes. So I'm going to let you guys go. Um, and have a fantastic day. Again, this is the gender tag from Ashley Wild of Ashley's Wildlife. I can't talk. But anyway, guys, have a great day, and I will possibly see you later. Bye-bye. Peace.